I'm building an advent calendar village for my daughter, stitched together from forgotten craft pieces, rescued card and those hoarded little roofs that have been waiting very patiently for their moment. 24 tiny houses, 24 hidden surprises, and all destined to be dusted in faux snow. Over the years I've been quietly collecting odd 3D prints, leftover laser cut windows, doors, and all those bits from past projects that live in the "I'll definitely use that one day" box. Although I will admit, this sensible little idea somehow sprawled into "let's build an entire village," without fully considering how long 24 houses will actually take. I started by digging out doors and windows to suit a couple of box bases I'd saved. One came together using windows from my Zonko's build, paired with a spare door from my Snow White's cottage. The second borrowed windows from Danbury House, but I swapped in a larger 3D printed door I'd stashed away, which instantly made it feel like a more substantial building. This time I glued all the windows and doors in first. I'd used up all my foam clay on the churches previously, but then remembered a stash of paper clay living in the shed, kindly donated by my daughter several months ago. I rolled a stone texture into the clay, wrapped it around the cardboard bases, and carefully carved out the window openings. The roofs received the same textured treatment before everything was painted with my trusted stone slurry, tinted sandy for the larger house and grey for the smaller one. Each stone was picked out individually to suit the base colour, and the roofs were finished with a terracotta wash. Once dry, everything was sealed with a coat of Mod Podge to keep it all safely in place. These roofs have been hoarded for about 5 years, so I felt it only right to finally give them all proper homes. The two larger roofs were perfectly suited to a light bulb box split in half. One house used spare windows from my long-born build with a sculpted craft foam door. One needed a little extra padding on each side to bulk it out, and scrap foam board turned out to be exactly the right thickness, and received windows from my Hogwarts cottage with another foam door to suit. I used two different stone rollers to give them slightly different personalities. The smaller roofs fitted neatly into a medicine box, also split in half, with the third perched on top of a soup packet box. Windows and doors here came from Pippin's potions and Snow White's cottage, with the final house featuring a very old laser cut window from long before I owned my own laser cutter. All of the houses were wrapped in paper clay, rolled with stone texture, painted with texture paste and hand-painted stonework to suit their base colours, before receiving their final Mod Podge coat. The final two buildings were made from tiny hoarded cardboard boxes, each topped with a small Mega Blocks roof. They were finished with old 3D printed doors I've somehow never used, which feels like a small crafting victory in itself. Since I want these buildings to live many lives beyond Christmas, the snow needed to be removable and made from supplies I had lurking in the cupboards. A little experimenting with PVA glue and baking powder followed. There was a brief moment of dramatic fizzing, and I wasn't sure it was going to stop, but once it calmed down, I was left with a fluffy, flexible texture that looked remarkably like snow when dry. Each building was wrapped in cling film, layered with glue-soaked toilet tissue and topped with the snow mixture. When dry, the whole thing lifted off neatly, creating removable snowy caps for each roof. Exactly what I'd hoped for. Each gift was wrapped and numbered, not the houses, so Willow has to hunt for the right building. A battery tea light was tucked inside each one, glowing softly through those colourful windows. And that's all 9 houses for this part of the Advent Village. Come back next time to see what buildings appear next. Until then, I'll be somewhere under a small avalanche of cardboard and clay. See you then.